Hello students, welcome back from the break. Let's go over vectors now. We are just going over the rudiments of vectors in this video, the first day's lesson. So what is a vector? A vector is a scalar with a dimension. So to keep it that simple, let me refine my definition. So a vector is a quantity that has both magnitude and direction. So where do we see this? The best example I can give you is speed and velocity. When I say my car is driving 30 miles per hour, right? I'm just giving the speed, the value of that speed, the magnitude of that speed. So if I say speed of my car is 30 miles per hour, then I'm just giving the magnitude. But if I say I'm going toward the south direction at a speed of 30 miles per hour, then I would not say it as a speed per se, I would call it a velocity. The velocity is a term used when we are giving the magnitude and direction. So that's the difference between a scalar, this is a scalar, and this is a vector. So a scalar is a quantity which just gives the magnitude, whereas the vector is a quantity that gives the magnitude and direction. Okay, makes sense? So that's the definition of a vector. So if you see that here, this vector P, right? So normally vectors are given as lowercase letters, but if you are giving a start point and an end point, then you will say PQ and you will write it as an arrow. You see this here? There is an arrow on top of it. So it has a start point and an end point. So the starting point is called the initial point or tail, and Q is the terminal point or the tip, right? So this is PQ, and vectors are usually denoted by the arrow symbol. So if you're just writing a small case letter with boldface, then you just have to leave it like that. But if you're actually representing as an uppercase, then we normally put an arrow on top of its head. Okay, so that's how we represent a vector. Actually, it is PQ in this case, so I would actually say it is PQ, and the vector is represented by the arrow on the top. Okay, so how do we find the magnitude when 2 points are given, the initial point and the terminal point? So it's usually the distance between them, right? So it's usually found by the distance formula, which I've learned back in geometry. So here I use V as a cursive V, not a print V, because we usually misrepresent V and U, and normally in our writing we confuse V with U. We might claim this as a V or a U, so that's the reason why I use a cursive V. That's my way. So when you call for the magnitude, then you would actually put bars around and say V, or sometimes people use double lines, that's fine. Even that is a valid way of writing the magnitude. Usually people prefer writing single lines. So it is equal to, you just have to use a distance formula, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, right? So that's how it is. So let's go ahead and do a couple of problems here. We just have to find the magnitude of each vector. So just apply the distance formula. So the magnitude of the vector AB, is square root of -7 minus 8, -7 minus 8 squared plus -2 minus -4 squared. Normally people write it as minus of -4, which I feel like I somehow don't like this. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I usually like to cover the negatives so it'll be a little less confusing. Anyway, so this negative times negative is a positive, So this becomes a positive 4. So in effect, this is 15 squared, which is 225, plus negative 2 plus 4, which is 2 squared, which is a 4. So it's a square root of 225 plus 9. It's square root of 229. You can actually write the decimal value. That's fine. All right. So that's how it is. So let's do the fourth one here, for example. Same thing. So the magnitude is square root of, I'm skipping the intermediate step, okay? So negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7 squared. And negative 7 minus of a negative 5, so it's plus 5. So it is negative 2 squared, right? So this would be a 49 plus 4. Oh, my bad. Hold on. See, that's why we make mistakes. It's not actually negative 7, it's negative 5. Because negative 7 minus of negative 1 is a positive 1. My bad. So it's not 49. So skipping steps actually will, sometimes we might go wrong. So be careful with that. So this is actually 25 plus 4. So it's square root of 29, which is 5.39. All right. So let's move on. So here we have found the magnitudes thus far. But if the magnitude is a 0, then it's a 0 vector, meaning it's just a point actually on the graph. It's just, there is the initial point and the terminal point is just the same. That's what it means. So there is no magnitude. It's a 0 vector. So a vector with magnitude 0. Okay, so that's the deal. So let's move on. Let's see the different types of vectors. So parallel vectors. The name suggests that definitely the two vectors are going to be parallel to each other. They may be forming in the same direction or opposite direction. It doesn't matter. They're not necessarily in this direction wise. They're either same direction or opposite, but they are not necessarily of the same magnitude. This could be longer also. The whole point is they are just parallel to each other. So we would say A is parallel to B. Okay, and equivalent vectors, they definitely have to be in the same magnitude and direction, but they're located in two different places. So if I have A here and B here, both have to be in the same direction, A and B. So we will say that A is equal to B. Now opposite vectors, they must be same magnitude, but they must be in opposite directions. So if one is going here, the other is going the opposite direction, then if I call this P and this Q, it means that P is negative Q. So both are equal but of different sign because they're opposite each other. So looking at that, now we can actually classify each pair. You can pause the video here to check yourself how much you understood. So here I'll just do a couple of them, then you can figure out the rest. Okay, so A and E, they are in opposite directions, and just look at the slope just in case. So the slope here is 2, rise over run, it's half, and it's half here too. They're going in two different directions, so they're definitely opposite vectors, right? So I'll pause the video and I'll completely fill it and give it to you. But I want you also to pause the video and do the rest by yourselves. Okay, I have the answers for you. So now let's move on. You can pause it to see my answers correctly. So let's look at the standard position. Standard position is when the initial point is at the origin. Okay, the initial point is at the origin. If a vector is in standard position, then we can write this in component form. So this is where you're learning a new thing. You probably learned it when you're in the physics class, where the force vector had to be split into two component forms. So how does that work? So if we see here, the initial point is at the origin, and if we draw a small triangle here, it's not a perfect one, but you see that the base is A, and the height is b, then we can easily say that the magnitude of the vector would be square root of a squared plus b squared from the Pythagorean formula, right? So usually the component form is written as a, b with these less than and greater than signs. That's how they are enclosed. So the magnitude of the vector is given by the Pythagorean formula. So the magnitude of v is square root of a squared plus b squared. But how would we find the angle? Now recall your trig here. So which ratio that will involve opposite side over adjacent, right? It's definitely tan. So tan theta is b over a, correct? So what is theta? It is inverse tan b over a. It's as simple as that. So let's write that here. So the angle is given by inverse tan b over a. Okay, so that's how we need to do the questions here. So quickly I'll do the first one. You just have to be careful which quadrant this is though. So both are positive here. So this is in the first quadrant. So the acute angle will be good, right? This is acute angle. But here both are negative. So whatever angle that we find, it's in the third quadrant. So we have to add 180 degrees to actually whatever you find here. You'll probably get an acute angle here too when you do the tan inverse, but you have to add 180. This is in the fourth quadrant. If it's in the fourth quadrant, it means that the vector is here. So we have to actually add 360 degrees because it's going to give me a negative angle. It's going to give me a negative angle. We'll see in a bit. And here this is in the second quadrant. So we have to add 180 also. Okay, so here add 360. So we'll do the second one. You will have my key anyway. So as an exercise, let's do the second one. So finding the magnitude is easy. You just have to apply the Pythagorean formula. It's just negative 3 squared, which is 9, and negative 1 squared, which is a 1. So this is a square root of 10. Okay, which is around 3.16. All that is good. Now, if we have to find the angle, then it is theta is tan inverse of b over a, which is negative 1 over negative 3. So I use my calculator here. Please make sure you have set the degrees instead of radians and in the mode. So please change that, if just check it. And now the angle here is actually 18.43, but we know that the vector is in the third quadrant and it's not in the first quadrant. It's not an acute angle vector. So it's definitely somewhere here, right? So if I say acute angle, it doesn't make sense. So that means you have to add 180 here. Okay. So when you add, it'll be 198.43 degrees. So that's what you need to do. Similarly, you have to add 360 degrees here. And if the second quadrant, it should be 180 degrees. Okay. So I'm going to pause here and fill in the values and you can. So I have the values here for you just for a quick check. Now you can pause the video and see it. So I'm moving on. I just have a minute left and I have to cover a small part here. So there are vectors with any other location. So we have to first find the component form for this. So it is just x2 minus x1 comma y2 minus y1. So first you have to find that for each of them. So here, for example, it's 6 minus 3, 3, comma 3 minus negative 5 is negative 2. So first you have to do that. So for each of them, you have to find the component form, magnitude, and direction angle. So you have to put everything together here. So I'll quickly do this and you can see what I did. So this is what it is. So for this component, first I will write it in component form. 4 minus 2 and 1 minus of negative 9. First write in component form, find the magnitude using the Pythagorean formula, and then find the angle using tan inverse b over a. Make sure you are looking at the quadrant where it is lying after you get the component form. So this is how it is, my dears. So this is the first day's lesson. I hope you'll enjoy it. Pardon me for being too quick, but you can definitely pause and play the video. All right, I'll see you next time. Thank you.